Ready to go?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for it to show up on my screen.
Let's go. Excited about this one. Really excited about this show.
Why are you excited?
I just am.
Okay.
Interesting day. Interesting couple of days, but I'm ready.
Okay.
You logged in?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Lock in. Let's go. All right, hello and welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. As usual, if this video just randomly stops, cuts out, and it does not restart, give us a few minutes and we will start a part 2. We always apologize in advance for that. Our internet connection here is relatively slow. Sometimes it's fast, but sometimes it slows down and it just cuts off.
Right.
Anyway, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. And let's get the chat going early. So start the chat. We'll take comments as always. Again, it's your comments and the like that keep us going. All right, it gives us stuff to talk about and energy to feed off of. So get the chat going. All right. Real quickly, this is the middle of the third round. So half of the third round finished today. The other half of the third round will finish tomorrow. So we will do a fantasy team and tennis racket giveaway / $250 cash giveaway, or a full reel of Y-Tech strings. That's not a set, that's an entire reel. So if you're a stringer, that's a big money maker for you. Or a 2007 Babolat Pure Aero. I think I showed that, a couple of times. I'll wait and whip it out again tomorrow. It's over there, but no worries. There is, by the way, only one person. Yes, this is my baby right here, or one of 3 that we have. But this is an original 07 Babolat Aero Pro Drive. Nadal's first stick that he played with, that he was a figure for the Babolat team. I'm sure they're very happy with that now, right? He basically single-handedly put Babolat on the mainstream map. And Babolat had been around since wooden rackets and before, but I think Nadal made it a household name.
Hopefully they're paying him millions and millions and millions of dollars for it.
Vamos! I will tell everyone who that person is that is still alive with his fantasy team, but for the big pot tomorrow, and I will tell you who he chose for his finalists and his winners of the men's and women's side. Great job to him. We'll talk about that tomorrow, but there's a lot of you still alive for the fantasy team prizes, which is $50 to each competitor. So that's a good one. All right, we're going to start out with shout outs. Let's get down. First shout out, and number 1 for today, is going to be Dave Raines. I think we mentioned him yesterday. I'm going to let Carla talk about Dave Raines to start, because Dave Raines beat my son and I, Christopher, against Dave Raines and Carla today in doubles, 7-6 and a tiebreaker. Go ahead, Carla. Tell him what happened.
Yay. Well, Dave Raines, he's a great doubles player. He did come out a few days ago, I think on Tuesday, to visit us, and we didn't really get a chance to play because I was a little bit under the weather, and we really didn't have time. But today he came out to play doubles.
Played well.
So, it was a close match. 7-6. We took it in a tiebreaker. I think we struggled both a bit in the beginning, but I think we were down 2-0 in the beginning.
Vice versa. You came out, held serve, Chris served and lost his serve, and we were down 2-0.
You were down 2-0.
We were down 2-0.
Okay, so we let you come back.
So yeah, I like to hold my serve, and usually I do hold it, and we held serve, and then Dave Raines dropped his serve, and that put us at 2-2.
Yeah.
And then it was on serve all the way until I dropped serve. I think Chris poached on like every point and missed volleys into the net.
Well, no, you guys would break Dave. And
yeah, we were breaking Dave.
You back.
Well, I only dropped serve once. Anyway, long story short is it was an important loss of serve, but both my second oldest son, our net game wasn't often popping, I guess.
Well, you guys kept tagging him on the net, and he is a very good volleyer. I'm not very comfortable up there. Not that I can't volley, but in singles is different from doubles, at least for me. So while he was kind of in the center covering the net and you guys were aiming at him, I was in the back protecting.
If I could go back in time, I wouldn't aim at him. He's really crafty at the net.
He can do a lot at the net.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Good job, Dave. We're undefeated. We beat these bozos.
Yeah, you guys are undefeated as a doubles team. Also, a shout out to his wife, Tammy.
Yes.
She puts up with all of us tennis players, and she, we meet a lot of tennis guys that come out and play. and they bring their wives or girlfriends, and you can see them, you know, sitting on the bench or, you know, pacing around like they don't want to be there. They're like, geez, hurry up, you know. But she has never done that. So she's a good tennis wife.
She's a good tennis wife, unlike some I know.
Yeah.
Like a friend who just got married
to
play tennis because.
Yeah, we have a friend that. We have a friend that.
Kenny, I don't care if you watch it.
Yeah, Kenny. Kenny, we love you.
I don't let a woman tell you can't play tennis anymore.
Yeah, we have a really dear friend, that was around when I first met Carla. And
he was always at our house. I couldn't get him out of our house.
Wants to play tennis every day. Let's go. And then all of a sudden he meets a girl. No more tennis.
No more tennis. Nah, guys, I'm gonna go hang out with you, but no tennis.
Yeah.
You're coming to the wrong friends.
Yeah.
Because we ain't like that.
Yeah, and when she comes out to play, or when he would come out to play, I think it was only once. You could just, you know, see her. She wasn't really happy about being there, just pacing.
You're whooped.
Yeah,
you whooped. You let a woman whoop you.
Yeah.
That's okay.
All right.
Never mind.
Anyway, we still love you, Kenny.
Matt Kane said, how often do you guys play? Well, we play every day. Every single day. But like competitive, maybe like against each other. You know, but that's about it.
Yeah, so how Carla and I generally look at tennis after we get done coaching, after spending, say, I think last week we put in about 60 hours coaching. Mm-hmm. So the mindset sometimes is, you know, when I get off of work, sometimes I don't want to go back to work, even if it's competitive or not. But when it's a really close match like today with Dave Raines, then it makes it all the better. But generally, we spend 60 hours a week, 40 to 60 hours a week on court coaching. And Carl and I like to go out an hour early. So if we have our first lessons at 9, we usually go out at about 7:30 or 8, get set up, and then play like a set or a couple drills. So we get our mind right, you know, you get motivated. Let's go. And then
sure, because it's not, sometimes, you know, it's fun playing tennis, but when you're coaching or, you know, you're talking a lot, and Justin talks a lot.
Well, I have to.
He talks a lot, so I'm sure that his mind is spent by the time we get to the end of the day, you know, so it's good to have a competitive match with a good friend or someone that's good, you know?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes at the end of the day, Carla and I will kind of look at one another like, okay, I'm about to lose my ability to keep staying positive and reinforcing with positive, you know, vernacular. So I'll look at her and she'll know that she kind of has to step it up. So I think like the first half of the day, we're both in it. But as the summer presses on and the heat gets into 110 plus humidity, I think a lot of times at the end of the day, it gets harder for us to kind of keep the energy up. Definitely. Right?
Alex Couillard says, hopefully I find a tennis wife. Laugh out loud. Good luck. I think it's always good to find someone that has the same kind of interest. It's tough when one person doesn't like the same thing you like, because it can make you stop doing whatever. I'm not just saying tennis, whatever thing it is that you like. You know?
I think Alex is in Texas, right? Mm-hmm. I think Alex is in Texas. Is that correct?
Yes.
A dear friend of ours, well, not dear friend, but a good friend of ours is in Texas. He's a coach there. His name's Jeff Hornsby. Mm-hmm. He's a fine player, fine coach, and also an ambassador for Yonex. I've mentioned him before. Look this guy up, because I'm sure he'll be happy to teach you a lesson or to hit some balls with you.
Gene Shore says, why am I awake? I don't know, Gene.
Because you're a baller.
It's 1 a.m. I would be sleeping as well. I wouldn't be watching.
You're a baller, Gene.
Matt Kane says, so good for you to still enjoy it playing. Yes. Alex Couillard says, does y'all local high school allow the public to use the high school tennis courts? We have no courts at
yes.
our high school.
And we're working on this. We are working with the kind of politics around that. So Carla and I began coaching or assisting coaching the high school that all of our kids play for. Mm-hmm. And that high school is called Bryant High School. When we moved here, there was no tennis team. A young lady, her name is Miss Ramirez. We love you a lot. She decided on her own, we didn't know her then, to take up the duties of being a tennis coach with no tennis courts at the high school. We met her and we started holding practices about 45 minutes away. And the first year there was a team. My oldest son, Jonathan, was on the team, now at the Air Force Academy. My second youngest son, Christopher, was on the team, but he was only in, 8th grade then? Mm-hmm. I think he was playing as an 8th grader. Anyway, that first year, my 2 boys made it to the state sectionals. This year, my second oldest son made it to the state tournament and lost in the quarterfinals. I think we've talked about that. Mm-hmm. Because of that, the school has gained traction about putting in tennis courts. So we are working with that currently. We've put in some information to the USTA and some other kind of government entities to get grant money to put in court. So we are working on that now. Great question.
Yes.
All right. Last few shout outs, so we're going to get started because this is going to be hard hitting. Let's get down. My last shout out, and that's to everybody. I don't know if a lot of you understand that we really enjoy doing this, and with 5 kids and teaching all day and our house under construction 8 months ago, or 10 months ago actually, our house was destroyed by a hurricane. And sometimes at the end of the day, sometimes we're gnashing teeth and we're frustrated, but we know we get to sit down with you. It doesn't matter if there's 1 person here or 30 people here. I think our max for people at a time was like 41. So we were like, wow, that's a lot for us, right? But you guys make our life sometimes livable per se, at times where we're just ready to throw our hands in the air and pull our hair out. So shout out to everyone. I hope everybody knows that we don't do this to make income. That's a joke. I think the entire, all of our shows combined, like 504, I think we made like $19. Let's get down. Let's go.
Today's been a tough day for him.
Well, I flipped out.
I flipped out, and I get to listen to it, and I have a hard time listening when people vent, because to me, I always want to say, suck it up, but I understand where he's coming from.
Can I ask everyone?
And I understand why he's frustrated. I get it.
Can I ask everyone a personal question? Mm-hmm. And look, and if you don't care and you're just like, look, start talking about Tsitsipas and Isner or whatever, that's fine. But can I ask everyone a personal question? Is that cool?
Yeah.
Is that all right? Anybody object to that? 2 things. Number 1, and I'll ask these and then we'll look, and if no one cares, that's fine. 2 things. Has anyone ever had to deal with a toxic family member, like a close family member, not a parent, but maybe a sibling or something like that? Has anyone ever had to deal with a really toxic family member? If you have, what do you do to deal with the person? And I mean the type of person that no matter where you are or what you do, they always find a way to make something negative.
Well, Ethan texted me. He said, yes, my aunt, laugh out loud.
How do you deal with it, Ethan? What do you do?
Just cut them out, he said.
Well, I try to do that, but it seems like every time I try to do that, we were sitting around last night, and you may not have noticed it, but 30 minutes prior to doing the show yesterday, you okay over there?
It just comes back.
You all right?
Yeah.
I think 30 minutes prior to doing the show yesterday, you may not have noticed, but I was in an ill mood yesterday. Sister the Queen's poem helped me out, but out of the blue, I get this, message, and it's just really out in left field, and it really got into my head. But I've been dealing with this for 25 years, so I don't know the best way to deal with it. Furthermore, that was last night, so I woke up thinking about it, and then this morning, we spent the past 9 months, 8-9 months, living in a church, and we're very blessed to have lived there. But we moved back in our house with the expectations to live here again, and we are. But I came home from teaching lessons this morning, and the entire wall was ripped out of the living room. So, I'm glad it's being done, and the owner's a great guy. We love him, and I hope he understands that. But I had just paid rent, and then my wall's missing, and I just got frustrated. So anyway, forget about that. How do you deal with a toxic family member?
Okay, so let's see. Gene Score says yes, many times. Matt Kane said boundaries. Jack Nolte says yay. This guy says no, I'm blessed in that way. Anastasia77 said if you can avoid it, then ignore it.
I really try to.
I think I'm blessed too. I don't really have drama in my family at all. Because if I don't want you around, you won't be around me. That's just the type of person that I am. There is no chance. I don't really care. He's dealing with some drama in his family.
It's hateful toxicity.
For me, I say goodbye, F off, bon voyage, and I won't miss you.
But it doesn't hurt you guys, like in your heart, that's like, that's my family, and as much as I want to say, get lost, never speak to me again, you want to say that, but for me, it's kind of difficult because I'm very giving. When I was a boy, we would have Christmas, and there was multiple times where I would get my toys that my parents would get me, and I would see some, young child. Again, I was a young child, and I would see maybe they didn't get anything, and I would be like, here, do you want my toy? And I would give it away. And my mother would be like, that's so nice of you to do that. You got a good heart.
Yeah,
but there are someone in my family that is the opposite of that.
It hurts, especially when that person creates lies and stuff. I get it.
It hurts.
But sometimes you just got to cut them off. It's better not to have them in your life because it's better to have peace in your life than keep dealing with the same thing. And if, for me, I cut you off. I don't need you in my life. You didn't do anything for me. So for you, it's your blood, so it's different. But if it was my blood, there's times where I got mad at my dad and we stopped talking for a year. You started talking to him, and so I came back into it,
Yeah.
For me, that's just how I've been built that way. That's it.
It's hard for me to stay super positive when I feel like I'm being cut or if I'm cutting off somebody. Again, that's one of my weaknesses in life. I'm too nice, and sometimes I get frustrated, and that I was last night, so sorry if I was a little different than usual.
This guy says, hard to say no for many people. Jack Nolte said, not for me. So to speak, but still involves me. If I get my point, it's like someone you call family, but not really family. Kriya said, life is too short to deal with these toxic people. Freelancer said, what if that person is your 20-year-old son? Look, I was freaking 21 years old. My dad stopped talking to me because of choices I made.
Well, okay.
He stopped talking to me for many years to get his point across.
I have to pause on this for a second, and the gentleman freelancer, he mentioned a child and his son or daughter, whatever. When something occurs with your son or daughter, it hurts to the core. The other day, my son Jonathan in Colorado broke his arm skateboarding, and just when I saw his picture, it was like a tearjerker. I'm like, damn, his first year in college, he's at the Air Force Academy, he broke his arm, no big deal. But then I see the picture, and I'm like, damn, stuff with your children hurts.
Sure.
I think it would be highly difficult to ignore your child. However, isn't this probably the reason why my mom and dad, well, maybe my dad's just an idiot too, but don't you think this is the reason why at least my mom continues to deal with that? Because it's her child?
Because it's her child, and I get it. Me, I have 5 kids, and I tell my kids, if you want to treat me like crap, forget about me. That's for me. I think differently. I'm sorry. I think life's too short. And we don't need to. I mean, if a kid's really that bad to the point they're bad and they're just disrespectful and have no respect for anyone, they don't care, they're cold, then it's different. They're liars, they take money from you, they hurt people, they abuse people, they cheat on people, then it's time to cut them.
Yeah. Anyway, enough of that. Again, I feel better sometimes getting the cat out of the bag. And thank you for listening. I'm sorry if I bored anyone. All right, starting the show. Let's get down. We're going to start with the Stefanos Tsitsipas match and the Isner match. Why do I want to start here? Don't shoot me, but after watching the beginning of the match today, I must say I lost respect for Stefanos Tsitsipas. Why? Stefanos Tsitsipas lost the first set, 7-5, 5-7, whatever. He won it, so 7-5. And his little, timeout calling self decided to go to the locker room, take a little towel break or a clothes break or whatever he was doing there for 6 minutes and 41 seconds, came back out on the court and proceeded to win the second set anyway. But my thing is he won the first set. Now, this is Ryan Mason out there is a dear friend of ours. Wonderful tennis player, wonderful father. He has Croatian roots. So his family tree is Croatian. So he comes from tennis blood, I can assure you. And I was out on the court today, and Ryan texted me something, and I was like, yeah, I'm pissed at Tsitsipas because Isner took the first set, and then he went to the locker room, and then Ryan Mason said, yeah, well, it's odd, not odd, but it's kind of ironic that, yeah, he wins the second set but doesn't go to the locker room then. I lose respect for people when they abuse the rules, okay? I know you all are going to say, well, I like Novak Djokovic, and he does it all the time. Well, that's one of the things, in my opinion, that keeps him from being the greatest of all time in terms of the overall package. Okay? I think the greatest of all time in any sport or any endeavor needs to be a gentleman, someone that doesn't abuse the rules or pushes the envelope, and that's Tsitsipas did today. It worked. Isner was there pacing around the court for 6 minutes. And for me, that was the beginning of the end. Anyway, I've said my piece. Carla, what did you think about the match?
Look, we've seen, Isner was hot. He played really good. I hadn't seen him play like that in a while. I was actually shocked to see him serving, hitting, and balling that way. We know many players they take a bathroom break. Many have done this. I didn't lose respect for Tsitsipas.
I did. Not all. I didn't say all respect.
I didn't, because then we'd have to be haters, and a lot of juniors we see do this, and we're not. I didn't lose respect for him. I think as a player, what about if someone calls a timeout injury? We see many players do that. It is your goal as the other person to not let that get through your mind, especially if you're a professional player. Isner should have been pacing. He should have been serving, trying to hit a ball or something. I mean, strategy is strategy. I mean, it's used in many sports, timeouts and all this stuff. So that's why I didn't hate the guy. You got to do what you got to do.
Look, it wasn't until relatively recently, I mean within the last decade or 2 decades, where you would ever see a tennis player going onto the court and then because they get down, they run to the locker room, or they get on the ground for a medical timeout, or they get a massage, or whatever it is. It is a tactic nowadays to do when you're behind, with the mindset is I want my opponent to cool down. He's hot. I want him to not be. And I'm going to do whatever I have to do that. The way I was raised, the way I was brought up in the game, the way you were brought up in the game, the way your father, my father was brought up in the game.
I wouldn't do that to somebody, but
if you can't handle the heat, then get the hell out of the cage.
But okay? I don't hate Tsitsipas for that.
I didn't say I hate him. I said I lost respect.
I didn't lose respect for him. You should have lost respect for him from when he hit his dad. I mean,
I lost respect then.
I'm just saying. But anyways, it was Isner's fault for not moving, in my opinion.
Well, he did move.
Well, I mean, you're a professional. You get paid millions of dollars. You should be used to this. Hello, in football they do it. In basketball, you're trying to shoot a free throw, and people are like this.
They have allotted timeouts. Basketball and football, these teams are designed to have timeouts so they can substitute, change plays, talk it over. That's not how it works in tennis.
Freelancer said you really can't disrespect Tsitsipas for that. If Isner was unhappy, then he should have complained. Exactly. You have an umpire there. He could have complained, just like Chulik did about Federer walking to the other side to get a towel and then get a time violation, whatever. The reality is that Isner could not keep that type of game up for that many sets. Yes, it got in his head. We noticed it. Tsitsipas started playing a little better. Isner started failing at the volleys. He started getting broken, and that's trouble, right? We knew that after he won the second set, he would roll off. Tsitsipas is the better player. Why would you want Isner to move on?
Okay, exactly. Okay, same song sheet. Fist pump on that. Carla just said this. Tsitsipas is the better player. He should have won. He should have won in straight sets. So because big man John, that's got a serve and a forehand for the most part, he wins a set from you, and your only way to quell that is to go to the damn locker room?
Man, it's a mental game. Tennis is mental. Like you said.
Agreed.
If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. That's part of it. It's mental. Just like when Serena's like, come on in your face. It's the same thing. You're just using a different strategy.
We're not talking about the Serena match yet. Go ahead and take topics or comments about it for when we get there. But talking about mental, Danielle Collins walked out on the court today like she had no fight. There was no screaming. There was no grunting. There was
Sabalenka too.
Yeah. But Sabalenka wasn't playing someone like
Serena.
Yeah, that someone like Collins was playing. So anyway, all I'm getting at is yes, it's psychological, but the Tsitsipas thing, come on, man. This is men's tennis. You're not a baby girl.
Djokovic does that. He's done that a few times. There's so many players. It's not just even them. So many players do that. It's part of it. You got to deal with it, okay? I mean, how many timeouts do we see? Oh, I want to call. Rude almost tried to do it, but he kind of stopped himself. It was match point. And he almost did it. And I'm like, if you call freaking timeout on match point, you're an a-hole.
Yeah.
He almost did it against Davidovich.
Yeah, and by the way, for any journalist, sports fan, or anything that has indicated that Casper Ruud is the second best player on clay, totally disagree. We've never said that here. I don't think any of you guys have, or girls, but we hear it all the time.
I said, I was like, really? With Casper?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my finger.
Really?
Come on, man.
Exactly.
I was like, don't you dare. He thought about it, went to the umpire, and then he like kind of realized, oh shoot, match point, that's going to be a little too obvious.
Exactly.
You know?
And we're going to talk about that for sure. And we will talk about a little bit about Fokina's, Davidovich Fokina's run up to this point. and some of the negative traits that he has, especially off his backhand wing. We'll get to that.
We'll finish with Tsitsipas. He gets to play Carreno Busta. I mean, had Isner won, he would have had a chance with Carreno Busta. But I mean, you want a more competitive match. So this little baby, puppy hater, wife beater, Zverev, because he's obviously going to make it through. Or Medvedev, I don't know.
Wow. That was harsh. It's true, though. Okay, Tsitsipas should have a walkthrough Busta. Now, Carreno Busta is a quality player. He's a quality player. But Tsitsipas should win that match.
Yeah.
You know, if Busta plays well, though, you know, again, would it be a shock and awe if Busta wins that? No, he's his senior. He's been around longer. I don't think it would be a shock. I don't think it would be a shock. Plus, Carreno Busta's from Spain.
No, but
home turf.
He's not the type of clay court player that usual Spaniards are.
I agree with that. However, home field advantage is a plus, but I don't think it really happened very much so for the Los Angeles Lakers last night. Sit down, LeBron. Anyway.
And Freelancer says Tsitsipas is 2-0 against Busta.
Yeah,
and it said Busta made the quarterfinals last year.
Yeah, and it should be 3-0 after this match. But again, if I'm betting on that match, I'm not touching it.
I would.
I just wouldn't touch it.
Someone asked, what do you think about Fognini? Let's talk about that match.
Roland,
Fognini, the bonus. Did Fognini even show up today? Did he even show up with his hot pink outfit? It's like he wasn't there. He was like taking his time. I'm silky smooth. I'm going to walk slow, Papa Smurf style. And it's like he just wasn't moving. He wasn't really doing much. It's like, I'm here because I've got to be here. Or otherwise I'm going to get fined.
All right. The big part for me here is that Delbonis has one of the most unappealing, I'll put it that way, one of the most unappealing service motions you'll ever see. Can you find a clip that I made for Carla today? Delbonis is kind of like who are some female players that serve with no full windup? They come from here straight here. Here is it Bertens that does it? I think Bartoli might have done it. I don't recall. But I made her a clip about Delbonis' service motion. You guys look at this. Let's play it twice and tell me what the pros and cons are of this. I want to see it. So no full windup. It keeps going. So no full windup. There's not a full motion. He's not really loading the front foot and then going to the back foot and exploding or bringing the foot forward. He kind of flops the arm back and then rolls over it. Okay? Anyway. Good clip. So Delbonis, and you guys can check my math on this, but I think Delbonis is the type server with speeds on average comparable to someone like Federer. You know, 120s, 125, something like that.
I wrote it down. I said his highest speed was 129 miles per hour. Average about 110, 111. Second serve, 86 miles per hour.
So average. My point is this with this service motion. As coaches, Carla and I, we have friends that are college coaches. And we're coaches ourselves, so we're always looking at students and other people we don't know. So we will go to tournaments and we will size up players there as to report back to our students to say, hey, if you play this player, their backhand is weak and they have no net game. So let's get into backhand patterns with them, drop shot them, bring them in, and either go at them or go for the lob or pass, right? Mm-hmm. So when we're walking by, sometimes I don't stop to look at a player if I see something that is not aesthetically pleasing, okay? Like if I'm walking down the street and there's a line of pretty girls and one of them is smoking a cigarette, I don't stop and look at that girl because I find it very ugly to see anybody smoking a cigarette. No offense if you smoke, I just find it gives me a migraine to smell it. So anyway, watching Delbonis serve, it's not aesthetically pleasing. So my thought process is I wonder how he developed this service motion and what the strategic importance of this service motion is. Is it maybe he physiologically can't do the whole windup? Maybe it was easier for him to learn as a junior this motion, or maybe it's just comfortable for him. Does anyone have any thoughts on his abbreviated service motion? And what you think the pros and cons of it may be. I'll tell you mine, but I'm curious.
All right, let's see. So we got here the bonus is 30. Okay, Alex Criar said the bonus ball toss is so high. Laugh out loud. Yeah, that was the one thing we noticed. The toss is extremely high. Then he says, using too much energy. Furzy09 says, Martinez, Wimbledon champ with no serve windup. Let's see. Matt Kane says, that looks old school. Gene says, high moonball toss.
Yeah, and this is why is a high ball toss a bad deal? Why do you not want to have a high ball toss? Mm-hmm. Because you're
waiting on it.
You're waiting on the ball. Do you ever see pitchers in baseball wind up to throw the ball and then they stop here for a second and then continue their throw? Mm-hmm. Do you ever see quarterbacks in football that take the snap, step back in the pocket, get ready to throw the pass, stop, and then deliver the ball? No, it's a loss of energy. The motion stops, we lose energy.
What is that?
Crowd control.
Cool.
So if the toss is too high, now I have to wait on the ball. I can go up after it, but if it's still too high, if I go after it, I'm just going to be way early and it's going to be really bad. But if I throw it up and I have to stop my motion, I might as well just throw it up and do what we call a lollipop, right? A lollipop's where you just throw the ball up and hit the ball like this. So if I have to go through the whole motion, throw it up, and then pause, then the whole motion is meaningless, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe that's why he does it. Maybe he does the abbreviated motion because there's no sense of doing the whole motion if your toss is too high, right? So if you've got to get there and wait, you might as well throw it up there high and just do this really flailing your arm around thing and hit the ball.
Yeah.
So maybe his ball toss, which is the right answer, maybe the ball toss is the way to address his service motion.
I guess someone forgot we're doing a show. All right. Matt Kane says, what's baseball?
That's funny. That's funny.
This guy said, you want to hit the ball at the apex, right?
Exactly. That's this guy.
Mm-hmm.
This guy always surprises me. This guy 1000, the man. Yes, absolutely. There's, you'll hear some coaches saying, hit the ball at its zenith, or hit the ball at its crest, or hit the ball at its apex. Exactly. Why do we want to do that? Because gravity, this damn thing called gravity, when the ball goes up, it kind of pauses in time there for a second, and that's where habitually we want to meet the ball. But if the ball starts dropping, it picks up speed, it starts to drop, and now we're dealing with excess speed, and we're trying to hit the ball sweet spot on some serves, just off sweet spots on others, or kick serves, whatever. But it's the same spot, whichever serve we hit, that we want to hit the ball within. And if we don't catch the ball at its apex, climax, zenith, then we're dealing with other variables that makes it more difficult to hit cleanly.
Jack Nolte said, men's game Federer motion, but I find noticeable on women, not cause bias, but Serena's service motion is so good that it does that, and that's down partly to Richard Williams. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why she won so many matches, because she was very good with her
Yeah,
serve.
our 12-year-old daughter, Lily, has a beautiful service motion. Our 16-year-old son has a beautiful service motion, but I started them really young with it, and I was really hard on them about it. I didn't let them even think about jerky motions or whatever. We started it right. We made sure they were fluid. We started with throwing balls. My second oldest son, Christopher, was a really good pitcher. So I had him in some baseball for a while, and he was a lights-out pitcher walking on the field. Never had any baseball training, but was striking people out left and right really young because of his natural throwing motion.
Gene Schwartz said, Del Bonis with his ball toss be like, aim for the moon.
Exactly. It's hard to catch anything at the climax or at zenith or apex if your ball is up there at the stars, and I'm guessing that's why he has the abbreviated ball toss. Isn't it Kiki Bertens that does the same thing? Doesn't she have the same type of high ball toss? So maybe abbreviated service motion and high ball toss correlate with one another, and whatever academy or
Gorgas does too.
Or who did?
Gorgas.
Julia Gerges does?
Yeah.
Great call there.
Freelancer Financial said Berrettini has a strange service motion.
I can't picture it.
I can't
I'll
either.
have to check it out. I can't picture Berrettini. I'm trying to gain traction and starting to follow his game a lot. I've seen him play maybe 20 times, but I haven't still seen anything that I would call special.
All right, let's go to
All right. Next match. Hold on. Let me flip here because I had some stuff written in. I had Del Bonis. Okay, by the way, we read an article today, and let us know if you've heard about this. Nothing new underneath the sun. We've heard it before, but there was a Russian player by the name of Yana Tsitsipas, that was arrested today at the French Open, is now in police custody. Why? Match fixing.
Match fixing for last year's match fixing.
We have heard about match fixing for eons of time, whether it's basketball, baseball, tennis, horse racing, whatever it may be. There's always matches that are being fixed, right? We talk about people that'll take advantage of you. We've talked about toxic family members. Life is a real tough deal, and as the tougher life gets, the more shortcuts people will look towards achieving, right? And it's found its way deep into the roots of tennis. Do you have this article?
Yes. She was arrested after losing her first round in doubles. It was
last year.
No, she lost this year.
Well, yes, but her arrest stemmed from a match last year. They lost a doubles match last year, 6-1, 6-1.
Mm-hmm.
And during the period...
It wasn't 6-1, 6-1.
Last year?
No, the reason...
They lost today, 6-1, 6-1.
Yeah, it was 2-2 last... It was a match held last year. She was playing doubles. Why would you do this in doubles? I don't know.
Because... Why would you do that? Because it's bettable.
Okay, so they were 2-2.
That's why.
2-2. She was serving, and all of a sudden people bet hundreds of thousands of dollars when she started serving.
Immediately.
She double faulted twice, then she lost the
in
next
a row.
Point. I remember this now.
Yeah, we watched it.
This. Then she got a lawyer. She's 26 years old. She got a lawyer. She's saying, I'm not guilty. So they're investigating her now.
Good luck with that, because look, there's something that I know pretty well, and that's being prosecuted when any state entity has a federal...
That's just stupid. Yes, thank you.
When any state entity has a federal prosecutor coming after you, you are going to lose. In the United States, I know very well, there is a 99.98 conviction rate against anybody that a federal, not state prosecutor has taken the case, right? I can assure you that if you arrest someone at the French Open, at the facility, in the middle of a major, that's what we call making an example of somebody. They could have arrested her at the hotel. They could arrest her driving down the street.
Yeah.
But if you're arresting someone and make front page news, they are going to make an example of you. I know very well. She has no chance in this case. She might as well save her money, plead guilty, and be done with it. I'm sorry.
More money. First, you said she only earned $200K over a 10-year career.
Well, that's why she was doing the thing in the first place.
That's crazy. I agree with you. It's stupid. It's not worth it. I mean, geez, it's just not worth it. Train harder and win a match. Pick a better doubles partner. I don't know.
So let me ask you a question, Carla. Let me ask this so you don't interrupt. Okay, Carla, you're blocking the sun. My daughter's back here. She's great though. Carla, there was a time in our lives where we went through a really tough time. Well, I think that's all the time, but we had a Babolat Star 5 stringing machine, right? I think it was, I think we paid about $6,000 for it. It was the cornerstone of our business. Mm-hmm. And because we got into a tough time, we had no choice but to sell it. Remember? Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyway, what I'm getting at is that stringing machine was very important to us. Now, this was, 10 years ago, 9 years ago, something like that. Maybe not that long, like 6 years ago. Mm-hmm. But we had no choice but to do it or our kids would starve, literally. So we had to do it. Mm-hmm. Fast forward to now with this young lady. This poor young lady was, she's not guilty in her own right. She was taking advantage of, Here's some young girl that's only won, XYZ amount of dollars. How expensive is it to pay coaches and to travel on the pro tour? Very expensive. She had someone that says, hey, I have a way you can make quick money. Surely she was probably like, okay, I'm hurting. I got to do whatever I do. I can't eat or whatever the economic problem was in her life. And she took the bait, right? She saw the bait, she took the bait, and it happened, okay? Sorry for her, very sorry for her. Things like this happen every single damn day. And it's easier and easier for these people that prey on these type of people to do this, especially now in the world in which we live. We have toxic family members. We can't go to the grocery stores now without empty shelves. We got lumber to build this house with. I used to be able to go to the hardware store and buy a 2x6 of wood for about $20. Now one 2x6 is like $80. So what I'm saying, when push comes to shove and you meet some vulnerable young lady or young man, whatever it is, in a tough situation, and you dangle a couple $1,000s in front of their face and say, hey, don't worry about it. No one will know. Well, it'll be okay. There's no problem here. And then they take the bait, they do what they got to do, and they pay for it for the rest of their life.
I agree with you here. This guy, he says, sometimes you're just not meant for tennis. Yeah, you got to stop. If you're not making money, go get a job. Get 2-3 jobs at your age.
Wait a minute. Is it that easy, Carla?
She's 26.
No, but to get a job these days, is it that easy? Is it that? Look,
No, it's not easy, but she's 26.
It's not that easy, Carla.
26. If I'm 26, I got no kids. No kids, right? Tennis is not working out. I'm not surviving with tennis. Then I better go coach or do something.
I disagree with your. I get what you're saying.
So you're saying because, come on, man.
I disagree with your.
You're making excuses for people.
Can I speak for a second? I disagree with how easy you're saying it is to just go out and find a job. Go do something else. Go get 2, 3, 4 jobs. How many people in this world can't even get one job?
I disagree with you. She's 26 years old.
How's she
Use
gonna
your
get a
tennis
job?
talent to coach.
What clubs are hiring? The clubs here.
So many.
The clubs.
She's Russian. She will have no problem getting a job.
Sometimes I get dumber with your debate.
She's born Russian, young, good looking.
Sometimes I get dumber. Carla, how many
women have a better chance? Come on now.
Can I get a thought out for a second?
How many? Carla, how would you say?
Let me ask you some questions, Carla, and you'll answer.
She's 26.
Holy shit! Can I speak for a second? How many times on this show, Carla, have you spoken about how many clubs in this area that have grass growing through the courts and they're shutting down due to lack of membership? And you say it's real easy to go out and get a coach?
She's from Russia.
I don't care where you're from. Ryan Mason's family's from Croatia, and Ryan Mason's club in Mississippi is shutting down. And the head coach
said that's no excuse. She could easily be a coach. Thank you.
But where?
She's in Europe. She's in Europe. She's in Europe.
And I guess the people in Europe are just balling out there and got deep pockets and can go pay for it.
You could get a lot of coaching is big in Europe. She's young. She could say, I'm in the tour. I'm in the tour, doubles, baby. Have you seen her picture?
You play challengers, so you were on tour hypothetically, and we're not book solid.
Some lady wanted to hire me just because of my accent.
Well, take the job.
Just saying.
I'll handle it here. Take the job.
She's 26 years old. Are you saying you're telling the world, you're telling young people that are watching, we understand why you did it.
Dude.
Life is tough. Is that what you're saying?
Dude.
Dude.
I have a bachelor's degree, and it's hard for me to find a job outside of tennis.
But she's in the tour. She's 26. Why would you take the money that's peanuts?
Because she needed it immediately. I'm not saying she's innocent.
Because I have no choice, and that was easy money. Just saying.
Look, you'll do whatever you have to do to survive, and surely when you throw a doubles match and accept the match fix, there was some personal reason that this person of prey preyed upon her. There was a reason why she was chosen. It wasn't random.
Man, my friends urge me to do things that you shouldn't do. Peer pressure's tough, but you gotta learn how to say no.
I understand that.
So because I can make money selling drugs, just giving an example, because it's easy and I'm in a tough spot, I'm gonna go.
So you're bringing me. You're not gonna me.
Oh my! I wasn't even bringing you up.
Oh, well, anyway, they all know this anyway.
I'm just saying.
I made a stupid mistake when I was young, and it cost me.
Justin, my point
years.
is, you can't tell that this girl has an excuse. You shouldn't do it. You're gonna get caught. How many times we tell kids, you do something bad, you're gonna eventually get caught. It's not that easy. You pay the price. You pay the piper. She's paying the piper.
Look, there's no winners here. There's a young
There's
girl.
no winners, but she made the wrong choice.
There's a young girl that made the wrong choice, and she will pay the price for it. But what I'm saying is, and I'm sorry we delved off into some debate, but the only thing I was debating with you, it's not very easy to go out in the world today and get a job.
But
there's billions of people.
Yes, there's billions, but she has a skill. Why not use that skill? It's not easy to be a tennis player. It's not easy. Not anyone can go learn the game. It's a hard sport, right? I can't go teach basketball. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't go teach baseball. I don't know. She has that skill. Why not try to use it? That's my point.
It's hard to utilize a skill as a coach. And I'm not talking about the others, 6 continents out there. I'm talking about where we live. If you're a tennis coach in this country right now, you need a second job.
Oh my God, man.
There's 2 of them.
We went through this.
Am I right or wrong, though?
But this article is about her accepting money.
That's why I'm telling you that's probably why she did it. Listen.
whatever.
She did it because she was hurting for money. She didn't do it for fun.
How many tennis players are hurting for money?
Anyway.
How many are on the tour right now that are struggling?
All of them.
That's what Djokovic is trying to fight
well,
for.
Except the top, you know.
So all of you guys that are struggling for money, somebody comes up to you and
anyway.
offers you a fact, take it. Because that's the easy way out.
We're squashing the subject. Can I ask you one question, yes or no answer only right now? And I want you to answer yes or no truthfully to all the people that watch you every day. Truthfully. Can you give me a truthful answer without going and trying to think of some bullshit excuse? Can you give me a yes or no answer? Yes or no? Carla, right now today, if you left here in Dolphin Island and went to find a coaching job in any of the 3 or 4 cities around here, could you find one?
Maybe. Not sure.
Where?
I don't know. I'm going to go to a tennis center or something.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay, that's hilarious. We'll talk about that later. Okay, next topic. Let's go. You could not teach there next because I'm not even going to go there. You could not. What are you going to make? $10 an hour with 5
I'm just
kids?
saying, anybody, you can make it happen. You work hard. People get 3 jobs. My mother did it, baby. My mother did it.
That was, what year was that?
Oh my
1985?
God. Man, this dude, I don't know, wait. I disagree with Justin on this topic 1,000,000,000%.
Disagree with me for what though?
That you're saying life is tough.
It is
Someone
tough.
pressure her, so she did it.
How many people?
Justin, the reality is she should have said no. There are many tennis players they go up to, I'm sure, and they say, hey, how many players have we heard? Hey, what about the model? Hey, entice Djokovic. No, I'm not doing it. And she might have needed the money.
Hey.
Sometimes you gotta say no. That's my point. And the other second stupid thing to me is that they would arrest her over this. How many molesters out there? How many bad people are out there? Arrest those people.
Trying to make an example, Carla. I already told you that.
Oh, everybody's made an example of. Anyways.
Yes, Carla, you're right. Money grows on trees. Yes, Carla, everybody can walk out of the front door and go get a job. And yes, Carla, life is getting easier. I agree with you.
That has nothing to do with this.
Next match.
Anyways.
The Casper Ruud and Davidovich Fokina match. Excellent match.
That was a fun match.
Watch the match, the entire match, start to finish.
Freelancer said, guys, tennis coach in the UK makes $75 an hour. He said there's a shortage of coaches there, he said.
Well, can you please, I'm not kidding here. Who said that? Freelancer, please do us a favor. Send me any type of contact that I can speak with. I'm not kidding, because Carl and I teach together, and we've done it for a decade. I've coached with a certificate for 22 years, and Carl and I both teach lessons at a very high level in your face, and we charge $40 an hour for the both of us.
Because the courts are bad, that's why. Anyways, so the rich betting companies got her arrested. Of course, they want their money back.
Who said that?
Furzio.
Make sure you quote these guys when you say it.
Great
comment.
If you mess with poor people, you don't get arrested. True.
Good point.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think he made the period at the end of the sentence. They arrested her there because she, in the media's eyesight, she's a pro tennis player, you know, blah, 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 blah. We're going to make an example out of her.
Obviously.
And that's it.
Obviously. But you know what? We have choices in life. And the choices that you make can affect you in the long run. So that's why sometimes it's better be poor, struggle, but at least be decent.
I agree with that.
That's my point.
Sometimes a simple life is much better. We believe in old cars and paying them off. I drive an 89 truck. She drives an Explorer with 190,000 miles on it.
170, but who cares?
Whatever.
I don't care anyway. Anyways,
period.
Geez, who cares? Anyways.
All right, the Davidovich Fokina match versus Casper Ruud. First of all, before we talk about this match, Fokina turns 23.
23 tomorrow.
23 tomorrow.
Or 22.
So we can't give Djokovic and Federer a birthday song, and not give this young man a birthday song. What are we going to say? Oh, well, he's not as good as them.
22. He's going to be 22.
22. Mm-hmm. So we better give this young. What is his first name? Is it Alejandro?
Alejandro. McCain said he has a bite. He has you beat.
Who? What happened?
Matt Cain said he has a bite.
That's great. That's great. I love it. It's my type. Matt Cain's my type of people, like all of you are. No one's here watching this show that's sitting in a castle in Bermuda. I mean,
Mike Walker said, "Did you ever watch The Odd Couple on Channel 11 back in the days?" Yes, we did, because you guys fight like The Odd Couple.
Man, I love Michael Walker. And Michael Walker, by the way. When she reads his comments, Michael Walker is a fine tennis mind, and it goes back a long time. There's a topic later that we have that's going to involve French tennis, right? And I actually wrote on the bottom, I would like Michael Walker. I can even show you. I would like Michael Walker involved in this one. I'm going to show you so you don't think I'm lying. See that? What did I say right there? Mike Walker. There you go. All right, so be ready for that one, Mike Walker. Okay. Let's sing Alejandro a quick happy birthday. Again, Carla doesn't know that in Spanish, even though she is Spanish. I won't hate her for that, though. So, you ready to go?
I don't know. I guess it's Feliz. I don't want to sing it. Jeez. Okay, let's go.
She sings very well. When she does karaoke, she lights it up. There's a video that we have of her doing karaoke and one other one in the kitchen when I snuck up behind you while you were cooking. What song was that? I don't know. All right, you ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Alejandro. Happy birthday to you.
By the way, I have a nickname for him. He looks like a pit bull, like a blonde pit bull. You know the orange pit bull you had?
Yeah.
He's a feisty guy, by the way.
Well, orange. The color was fawn.
Fawn, okay.
Fawn.
Well, he looks like a pit bull. He's built like one. To me, he was feisty. Alejandro. I was saying to him, you know, we should have named Justin Justinovich.
Yes.
Because if we had named Justinovich, we would have been guaranteed we had a tennis champion.
Pro. What are some endings and last names that guarantee you a future tennis star or at least a tour player? What are some letters on the end of the name that just by
Djokovic,
I see.
Justovich.
So we got Ich, Ivanovic, we have Yankovic, we have, give me some more. The list goes on. Geez, so get a list out. Give me another one. The Italians have the I, but they're never really, top of the, you got what? Fognini, Musetti, who else you got? Some more I's in there. Vinci, right?
Yeah, and the girls, Ovas.
Ovas.
Yep.
Yeah, so mark it, check it. If you ever have to bet on a bunch of players, pick 50 players out of this list that you think may win. Don't even study the matches or the players. Just look at their last.
Chikova, yep.
Ich,
Mladenovic.
Ova, and E, right?
Yeah.
You're right, though.
Jack Nosey says, I'm torn. You should say no, but at the same time, it's not the issue to say no when you're desperate. Some will do anything, so I can see Justin's point. I see his point, but I'm just saying, I would have said no. It's not worth it.
Look,
it's not worth it.
Can I just speak for myself?
I don't know, but you call me pretty much dumb. Go ahead. Go speak for yourself. I know your story.
Man, I just sometimes I feel like I argue with a brick wall with her. I really do.
Wow, thanks for the other compliment.
It's like playing tennis against the backboard. It's a great workout, but eventually the wall is going to beat your ass. And I'm tired of getting my ass beat by the wall.
Okay, go ahead, Justin. I won't talk. Go ahead.
I'm going to use myself. I'm going to tell her.
I'm listening to you.
Carla, right now, I've coached tennis for 22 years. Okay? And I feel like I do a pretty good job and work hard. I honestly feel in my heart that I'm a better coach than anyone around here that I've met. And I'm not being not humble. It's just that coaches around here just feed ball, that's okay. We're in their face, let's move or you're gonna run. Anyway, if I left my coaching career right now and I had to find a job tomorrow, could I find one, Carla? I just want you to answer that question honestly as my wife and the mother of my 5 children.
Because you're trying to find something that you could enjoy.
I haven't utilized my psychology degree since I graduated from University of South Alabama. Number one. Number two, I was a service manager in the car business for Ford Motor Company and Subaru for a long time. I haven't done it since iPads came out. I don't know squat about an iPad or how to use the internet, at least in terms of that type of stuff. That's why Dushan Dramakanini, what's up, Dushan?
He just sent me an email.
Does my numbers.
He sent me an email and he says, can you tell me if this is what you have? So I'll check it.
Yes, and much love to Dushan. Dushan is the man out there. Dushan is a highly intelligent person, a wonderful person. Is in Serbia. Too bad Jiri coughed up that
was a pitiful
triple break point or triple set point against,
so mad.
puppy hater Zverev today. We'll talk about that in a minute. Anyway, looking at an Excel sheet to me is literally quantum physics. And I think I know more about quantum physics than I do an Excel sheet because I watch quantum physics videos every night. But you cannot tell me right now, if I wasn't coaching, if tomorrow the courts fell apart here, which it's probably going to happen eventually, how in the hell would I go to work? We would have to move.
Cool.
That's all I'm saying. It's easier said than done. All I'm saying. Okay.
It's harder when you have a family. Easier when you're young. The world is yours. You gotta try to do everything you can.
Agree.
I'm just saying, at 26, if I can go back in time, 26, no kids.
Yeah.
There are other decisions we can make.
All right. By the way, before we talk about this Fokina Rude match, the Davidovich Fokina had a horrendous grunt, a squeal, a screech. It sounded like someone constipated that kept pushing. Stop it, dude. Stop it, man. It was awful, hideous. Had to turn it down. Another one of his faults, even though he won the match, is he jumps and hits his one hand or his two-handed backhand. I'm not going to get into why this is an issue. He pulled it off. He won the match.
He hit that. That was an awesome shot though that he jumped for, because the ball went so fast. How he did it, I don't know.
Look, look. Can I see that racket right there? I've done this 1,000 times. I'm not going to waste everybody's time again, but I'll do this quickly. My fist is the ball. Okay, my mind is locked onto the target. Okay, I'm swinging the racket. At the last second, I jump. You get what I'm saying? I can't really control the ball consistently if I jump. I'm asking
I
the
think
frame.
it worked for him because he went so fast. So fast, you know? The racquetball was so fast.
Stay down. Stay down, bro. And given the fact that he won this match, congratulations. But maybe the reason why we haven't seen more of him, even though he's still young at 22. But I remember Michael Chang winning the damn French Open at 17. But what I'm saying is maybe we would see a little bit more from him moving forward.
He almost choked that match.
If he stays down.
He almost choked that match.
By the way,
5 match points.
Casper Ruud won 17 more points. How do you say 17 in Spanish?
17.
17. Casper Ruud won 17 more points than Davidovich Fokina. And Davidovich Fokina won the match. There's a drill that Carl and I created, and we created this one.
Well, he did.
I was asleep one night. We woke up, and anyway, and I said, you know what? I want to try to create a drill where it's a microcosm of an entire match. So I came up with a drill where the goal is for the student serving. So it's a server's drill, where the server has to win 15 points, but during their road to winning those 15 points, they cannot lose 3 points in a row, and they can only double fault once. So we call it 15-3-1, right? It's difficult, but the mindset is if I'm serving the ball, and I double fault twice in 15 points, that's like double faulting 20 times in a match. It's not going to work. It's not going to get you across the finish line. It might be in the first round or second round, but when you get to the final, you double fault 20 times in a match, you got issues. You got them too. Remember that song? Okay. And if you lose 3 points in a row when you're serving, you're down love 40. So if I'm serving in men's tennis or women's, even though women tend to habitually break one another, but if I'm in men's tennis and I'm down love 40 on serve, I'm in trouble, right or wrong?
Sure.
If I'm in men's tennis and I double fault twice every 15 points, I'm in real damn trouble. I'm averaging love 40 on every service game and 25 double faults every match, right? Mm-hmm. This is the type of statistic that makes you realize how Ruud, having won 17 more points, still lost the match. Why? He won the points at the most crucial times, right? And Davidovich had 5 match points, and he finally closed it, right?
Yeah, finally. But he almost choked. I mean, he had 5 match points, but he had like two or three break points. And when he had match points, the first few were stupid mistakes. Like he hit one approach shot that he didn't get down on, like you said.
And jumped.
He lifted up.
And missed it long.
The second one was down. He went down straight down the middle instead of finding a bigger angle, which I thought that was stupid. You just made the course shorter for yourself.
Yes.
He should have just rolled the ball. The pressure is on Casper Ruud to save the point. At match point, the one that has more pressure is the person that the match point's against.
Obviously.
Why? Because they have to save the point. So him coming to the net, I felt like, well, you're on the offense because you can put it anywhere. They're feeling the pressure. They have to create a point, pass you, get to it, and he just went straight down the middle.
So why? What are some reasons why we played the body? What are some reasons why we played neutral? In other words, up the middle of the court. A couple reasons. If if I'm a player and we're in patterns, left and right, laterally, or neutral, back behind, and then the open court, our mind during that match, or for at any point in time, our mind wants to go cover an open court, right? We have to. The court's wide open, you got to recover, right? Correct?
Mm-hmm.
When we get into a match, we're zoned in. We want to keep moving. But if we are kind of on the run one way, right? We're covering the open court. Sometimes if we go right to the body, there's nothing you can do because you kind of have to get out of the way this way. You kind of have to get out of the way that way. So sometimes a really high percentage shot is to go to the body. I don't think it was a bad choice at that point. I know what you're talking about. We talked about it. I think my mindset is that Davidovich assumed and thought, because of the patterns throughout the match, that he was going to keep running cross court, and therefore to the body was a winner up the middle. Okay, like doubles, winner up the middle, a ball up the middle solves the riddle, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't blame him for going to the body there. He won the match, but going over the lowest part of the net, 36 inches, low part of the net, up the center, is a high percentage shot, right? I would rather give the ball back to the player with pace and depth than I would be wanting to aim for the lines 3 feet behind my baseline, aiming for the corner on their baseline. It's a lot of distance. It's a pinpoint shot. I don't blame him for going neutral. I get the shot. But yes, sometimes that gamble, going neutral, is a bad gamble. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, of course.
So, like Carlo, when I play you a lot, sometimes I'm wanting to go up the middle of the court because I know you like to run laterally, left, right. So if I can catch you in the middle, you have to stop, stumble, and...
But I'm still good at that.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, Casper Ruud, in my opinion, is definitely not the second best player on clay, where I don't even care about the surface. Clay, hard court, whatever, you're a tennis player. He's not the second best player of anything, hence why Davidovich won that.
So Michael Walker saying that if Medvedev will get to the final, gets it out, he'll and become number one in the world. How can he be number one in the world? I thought Djokovic was like way ahead in points.
With no net game.
He's way ahead in points. How would Medvedev be number one in the world?
That's a great...
Djokovic, can someone give me the calculations? Because I thought Djokovic was like way ahead.
Look, never doubt Mike Walker.
No, I'm just asking. How
he'll get it right
how
every
did
time.
you calculate that? Because Djokovic is super ahead, I thought.
I don't know, points from last year, this year, I don't know how it... I mean, I do know how it works. You have to defend points in order to keep them in... Anyway, long story short, that would be pretty sad if Daniil Medvedev was number one in the world.
Really?
Not because I don't like him. Not because I don't like him, but how do you have a number one player in the world with absolutely zero net game? How is that possible?
And no variety. I mean, he played Isner today, but Isner, what a joke that was today. What a joke.
The only thing I thought it was actually an okay match.
That was not an okay
match. Was stupid. The only thing I thought that was stupid was Tsitsipas taking a bathroom break after he lost the first set 7-5. That was stupid.
Well, Gene said, I'm staying. He was going to leave, but he said, I'm staying up until you guys are finished announcing the fantasy team leaders. I don't think you're doing that.
Well, I mean, I have a leaderboard as of now, but it's really not much different from yesterday. So we're going to do, look, you're a young man.
You should get some rest.
Get some rest. Go because it's only halfway through the third round. So I'm not going to do a full recap to tomorrow. There's only one person left out of, 35, 40 people that are alive for
one person.
The biggest spot. There's one person. I'm not going to say it tonight, though. But there's a lot of you still alive for fantasy. You can stay up for it. But man, you're a young man and a fine young man with a wonderful family. Get some rest if you need to, for sure. Because I'm not going to do a fantasy team update on this one. We did it last night, and we're only halfway through the third round. It wouldn't make any sense to do it tonight.
All right, let's talk about Nishikori.
Let's go.
Yes, Nishikori, good for you. 1 set and done. Shocker.
Record.
He gets a walkover. 1 set and done.
Nishikori set the record for 5-set matches. He's won 10 out of his last 11 and is 27-6 lifetime in 5-set matches at majors. I think he just set the record for his first 1-set win.
Refresh that body.
Let's go.
Refresh that body.
Yeah, sure. and don't forget,
Ryan. Because you got to be Puppy Hater. I hate that dude.
Does Nishikori have a chance against Puppy Hater? I think so, only because he's very defensive and he runs down a lot of balls. He's beat him before.
Please beat Puppy Hater. I can't stand that dude. Anyways.
And I don't know how much patience Zverev, when he plays, if you look at him, he's very impatient. He whines, he gripes, like a little puppy hater. He's bitching about this. Hey, if you wanna find me for the coin toss, well, just find me every time. Just like Osaka said, find me every time. I don't want to talk to the press.
So I was looking at this. Medvedev can only be number one if he reaches the final and Djokovic doesn't. I'd rather Djokovic stay number one, honestly. It would be a disgrace to tennis if Medvedev's number one.
Well, Djokovic is still the best player in the world and will be for a while.
No, that would be laughable. Laughable. Freaking guy hasn't won a slam and you'll be number one. That's laughable.
The most laughable thing, he has no net game.
Laughable. What a shame.
Yeah.
What a disgrace to men's tennis.
Yeah, redunculous.
Yikes. Mm-mm.
No net game, number one in the world. And Djokovic and Nadal and what's left of Federer are behind me. Doesn't make it. Can I ask you a question? Does if Roger Federer played Medvedev right now on clay, who wins that match? If Federer and Medvedev played tomorrow,
I say Roger.
Who wins that match?
Roger. He'll move him to the net. He'll dice him and slice
Exactly.
him.
Fist pump there.
There's no way Federer's gonna be that stupid and hit back there with him.
What did Novak Djokovic do to Medvedev? We did the U.S. Open and we talked about it.
It was out the Australian.
Or Australian.
Diced him, sliced him.
We talked about it. Djokovic even indicated in his press conference prior to the match, hey, what's your strategy against Medvedev? Well, I'll bring him up. I'll bring him to the net a bit. Obviously something along those lines. But dude, Federer would beat Medvedev now, even though I think Federer's on the way out. But Medvedev has no net game. And if you're a really intelligent, smart tennis player that can control the ball and hit spots, if you can hit that spot and bring Medvedev in, you got him beat.
Yeah, please. He faces Garin, who beat Jerome. Jerome put up a good fight, by the way. I'm going to be rooting for Garin. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't like his game.
I'm going to ask some rapid fire.
British media thinks Nadal versus Norrie will be exciting and close. Do you think so?
Who?
British media thinks Nadal versus Norrie will be exciting. What do you think?
If they were in London, I would say it would be exciting. But because they're on clay and Nadal's second backyard, I would say that's a joke.
That's a joke.
Norrie has no shot. If Nadal reads that message and finds that on the internet or on his phone or however he reads the media, that's just going to piss him off and he's going to bagel him.
Has there been a WTA number one without a net game? Yeah.
Wozniacki?
Safina too. Yeah.
Wozniacki?
Yeah, couldn't play at the net either.
Did Hingis play the net?
Yes, very well.
She was a good net player? She was a doubles player.
She could dice, slice. She had an amazing feel in her hands. Monica Seles wasn't comfortable at the net. Not with the two hands.
Was it Anna Ivanovic? And I love her. She's
a baseliner.
Yeah, one of my favorite women's players of all time is Anna Ivanovic, and no disrespect, Carla's my everything, but
I don't care.
I think besides Carla, the most beautiful person that's ever walked the face of the earth is probably Anna Ivanovic.
Man, there's many beautiful women out there.
I don't know.
Sharapova, yes, she was a number one.
Whoa.
No.
Oh, I was about to say, you gonna tell me Sharapova?
No, with no net game. Net game. We're talking about number one.
Yes, exactly. There's quite a few.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. But it would be a shame. Don't you Djokovic fans, wouldn't you be upset that Medvedev would be ahead of Djokovic? That's a joke. That's a joke.
Okay, let's talk about the Laszlo Jiri and Puppy Hater match with Zverev. Mm-hmm. We know that Zverev seemingly cruised. He won in straight sets, but there was a point in time in the second set where Laszlo Jiri was up 5-4 in the second set. Zverev was serving at love 40. He had 3 break points, and what happened, Carla?
He really choked. Yeah. That would have changed. I felt like that could have changed everything for him.
It would have.
It would have changed the whole tempo of the match, but instead it was it for him.
Chokeaholic, really choked that out. I still love this guy though. For me, the ability for this small, wonderful country of Serbia to put out players such as Jiri, Kekmanovic, Lajovic, Djokovic. Here we go with the ICs. Let's go, ICs. Get down. Hey, Justinovic, where you at? We're changing the name to Justinovic. Where's Justinovic? Okay, anyway, that was an opportunity for Jiri to change the tides of the match. If Jiri gets that break, we're tied at one set apiece. He's motivated. He's in the trenches. He's on the front lines, and I think he has a shot. Alas, break point number 1 gone. Break point number 2 gone. Break point number 3 gone. Lost the next 2 points.
That's okay, Gabby.
Tied at 5-5. He ends up, Zverev, puppy hater, wife beater, shirt, whatever, linguine noodle, ends up taking the set 7-5, and the rest is history. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. What is one thing we work on with students, Carla, in situations like this? We work on accuracy under pressure. We work on accuracy under pressure drills. Jiri must go back to accuracy under pressure. He needs to breathe through it. He needs to think yoga in his mind. He needs to swing freely.
It's okay.
Yeah, you're good. No worries.
No worries, please. Let's finish.
Anyway, I like Jiri a lot. I like Lajovic a lot. I like Hekmanovic a lot. I like Belarus too. I like the fact that another really small country such as Belarus puts out Azarenka, Sasnovich, Sabalenka. It's amazing to me how these little countries can put out more players in the top 20 or the top 50 or top 100 than the U.S. on the men's side has put out in a long time. It's really, I applaud them. Okay, whatever you have in your water there, we need to start drinking it here because that shit's fire. Okay, let's go. Enough said. Zverev, puppy hater, will move forward and play Nishikori. Who do you got in that match?
I have him on my pick.
I'm taking Nishikori too.
I haven't lost a guy, right? I don't think
I'll mention that tomorrow night.
I haven't lost a guy. I know that.
I think Carla is the only person of all of our fantasy team players with no losses. Yes, you lost Opelka today.
No! Why?
You lost Opelka today. But she's still hot. She's still hot. And I tell you who else who's hot is Casper, but I'm not going to talk about that tonight. All right, next match. We talked about Jiri. We talked about Isner, Tsitsipas. Let's talk about Serena and Collins.
Serena came out with a different outfit. I guess she heard us. The booty shorts had to go.
Booty shorts.
She was wearing a skirt. It was a little bit better, but I had to ask myself, and I'm not going to read it. I wrote it down, but does anyone really buy these outfits? I have yet to see a tennis player out there, a junior or a female club player or a league player, wear her outfits. Any of her outfits.
There's a reason why, Carla. You're not going to find any player that goes to their local recreational courts or their local club or even their local driveway and wear shorts or biker shorts where the ass part gets absorbed in the booty. No,
I'm talking about all her outfits.
Her shorts get absorbed in the booty.
I'm talking about all the outfits, like all the outfits she's had. I've never seen anyone wear them. Like those tutus, all those outfits with the one arm. And so I've never seen any tennis player try to wear that. Why?
Because it looks hideous.
It looks hideous and it's uncomfortable. When you're playing tennis, you want to be comfortable.
Could you imagine walking out to a local league match, like playing, like a
Let me go play in a tutu.
Let me roll out in a tutu. let me go out to my lesson one day and roll up in a cat suit.
I'm gonna wear that green outfit. Yeah, no, I was like,
just please do me a favor. If you get some green biker shorts, can you get them normally made and not made where the crevice of your ass is getting tucked in by the middle? Because that's hideous.
Maybe she was wearing a thong. Have you thought of that?
I don't even want to think about that. That's too much.
No, I agree with you about Michael Walker. She isn't good at net. My daughter and I were talking about this. Serena is not the best at the net either.
Well, yes.
She comes in when it's like when I'm not the most comfortable at the net. I don't think I have the best net game. So I come in when I have an opponent like away from the court.
Well, yes.
Where I could just put it away.
And in the modern game, though, and look, I'm a proponent of saying there's nothing new underneath the sun. The game of tennis really hasn't changed. Now, I see all these videos. We've talked about this before. This player is hitting the new modern forehand.
Brussels sprout? Wow.
You see all these people talking about let's hit the new serve or the new forehand or the new backhand. There's nothing new underneath the sun. The point of impact, where you're striking the ball, is everything. Anyway, when you throw out stuff in the middle, I lose what I'm saying. She has a good habit of that. I'm in the middle of thought she's like Brussels sprouts.
I've never heard Brussels sprouts before.
Anyway,
Serena looked like Brussels sprouts.
I forgot I was going to say that.
Okay.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. Why do big hitters these days not come to the net? And why do most players not come to the net? If you're hitting the ball big, let's put this into perspective. I'm playing, I hit a ball really hard. Boom, right? I come to the net. By the time I approach the net off that really hard ball, I don't have enough time to get to the net in a split step or even close enough to volley safely and the ball's coming back on me, right? Mm-hmm. So this day and age, like it was maybe prior to 1989, 1990, who was the last person to win a major with a wooden tennis racket? Was it Yannick Noah? Did Yannick Noah win I think Yannick Noah was the last person to win a major with a wooden tennis racket. Why is that? You don't have the pop, you don't have the power, you have the control, the feel, but you don't have the power. So every time you hit a ball, you would have the mindset that, okay, I'm going to be able to get to the service line before they hit it and split step at the right position in order to have a chance at the volley, right? But nowadays, if I rip a forehand, boom, at 110 miles an hour, and I try to approach the net, by the time the opponent hits the ball and chooses a passing shot or a lob, I'm only in three-quarter court, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to pull the pace off to serve and volley at this day and age. And you know that Serena Williams is never going to pull the pace off at anything. So how can she get to the net? She hits too big.
Well, but she's uncomfortable there. But if you do see her there, it's usually because she has the advantage, and that's why she's there.
Agreed.
And usually most of the girls are there because they have an advantage. They don't want to be there because, they want to be there.
I think, though, Serena Williams is not in a lot of trouble in her next match, but a little bit of trouble.
Well, they've never played each other. I just look at their head-to-head.
Yeah. Rybakina, by the way, has had a really good tournament. Rybakina, I think, has a lot to prove to everybody. Here she is, the fourth round. By the way, Daniil Medvedev has made it to the fourth round.
You're eating your shoe?
Well, I made a bet with someone I was chatting with. And anyway, long story short, I told this person if Medvedev made a second week, if he sent me one of his shoes, because he said he would chew on his shoe if Medvedev made it. So I don't know if he'll ever see this, but I'm willing to do that. So anyway, whatever. Okay, Serena Rybakina. Carla, who honestly do you think wins it if it's a 3-set match?
Rybakina is the younger one. She's 21.
Yeah.
So she's fresh.
3-set match. Who wins that?
She's fresh. Someone put here, first year, I said Rybakina uses this on clay, but has a kick serve.
Mm-hmm. And the kick works well on the mud.
She's useless on clay, huh? I didn't know that. Okay. I don't know. I mean, if Serena's playing like she did against Collins and serves big, you got to give it to Serena, but I think she has to finish it in 2 sets.
Yeah.
I think we said this about every opponent. She's got to finish it in 2 sets. Otherwise, she's in trouble. The stamina, I mean, she's older. It's harder to keep playing those 3 sets. Plus, if you give a young girl belief, they kind of take over.
Here's the thing, though, playing Serena. Mm-hmm. She brings out the off-the-court psychological advantage, just like Federer, Djokovic, Nadal do, right? Today, when you were watching the Serena and Collins match, we usually see Collins come out, kind of being bitchy, not in a bad way. Pardon me, didn't mean to do that, sorry. But you see Collins come out and she's on fire. She's like, vibrant. But today she wasn't like that. Why? Because who was on the other side of the court? Serena has a lot to handle, psychologically, physically, and on the court, right? So I think that Rybakina is going to be intimidated no matter what she thinks or does. She's going to have this psychological thing in her head like, oh my goodness, I'm playing the best player in women's tennis that's ever lived. And I think that's a disadvantage from the get-go, right?
But I don't think they fear her as much.
No, I don't think you're going to fear anybody, but I think that makes you play tighter. You're not going to swing as freely. You might hit a little tighter. Your serve might not be elevated as much as you would like it to be. Serena, the Federers, the Djokovic's, the Nadals, they bring a psychological advantage that makes you freeze. No matter what you say or do or tell yourself, you're going to play tighter at least for a while. And usually you have to get down big to loosen up, right?
These
comments? Go for it. Read some.
My coworker says Serena is moving well for a big-breasted, big-butt Amazon woman of 39.
So, I mean, it's a good point. That's true, and good for her for doing so.
Freelancer said Patrick Montaglu would have a field day if Serena and Stefanos won. He coaches both of them. Hitchhiker said, who's playing better, Federer or Serena? I think that they both had off matches and on matches. Like they play one really good match and one not
That's
so
a great
good
question.
match.
Who asked that question?
Hitchhiker.
When you read their name, that's why they do it.
I did say Hitchhiker. You didn't hear me?
I think they're both kind of. I think they're both kind of in the same spot.
Yeah.
I think they're riding the wave. Their last few waves they may catch. I use the surfing metaphor. I love to surf. Anyway, but I think they're about playing the same given the context, right? Federer was. I really think that when Cilic was being like, me, Mr. Cilic, I'm a mean boy. I think when Cilic was kind of agreeing with the umpire about taking too much time in the match. If you missed that, watch yesterday's show. But I think that energized Federer. I think if it wasn't for that altercation that Federer had with the referee, and then when Cilic came up and chimed in, I don't know if the match would have ended up the same. I think that was stupid of Cilic to do that, and stupid of the ref, because you pissed Federer off. When you see Federer turn his back on the umpire and walk the other way, shaking his head, that's about as pissed as you're going to see Federer. Oh, wait, he broke a racket in Miami in, 2009, I think? Anyway. Who wins the match, Serena or Rybakina?
Serena.
I think so, too, just because of the tightness that's going to happen when she gets on the court with her. But would you be surprised if Rybakina won?
No.
Wouldn't either.
Michael Walker says both playing around the same. Federer moves better.
Agreed.
Jack Nosey said never write her off, even on clay.
Yeah.
Jack Nosey said I just like watching them play.
Great comment.
Perzio9 said court is playing fast, so helping the serve.
And that will hurt Swiatek, by the way. If the court, now today, when I was watching matches, you probably watched a lot more in terms of continuous than I did or listened to it. From what I gathered today, it was more of a wet court, more of a damp court. It feels like watching the matches today, it feels like the ball was a little slower. That will help Swiatek. But the entire first week, for the most part, the court was playing faster, or the courts were playing faster, which will hurt Swiatek. Serena wants a fast court. Swiatek wants a slow court.
Matt Ken, agree with your comment. Gonna miss them when they're gone. Yep.
I think we all will. And we have a topic coming up after we get through the matches. That's a good one, where I wrote Michael Walker's name down. That's going to talk about missing something when we're gone, but this has to do with a different missing when they're gone. Okay, go ahead.
Azarenka Keys, I watched that match. I don't think you did.
The better player won.
You have to. If Keys would have won the U.S. Open, I think her career would have been different. So disappointing to watch Keys play. Azarenka was way, way better. Azarenka said she even knew the strategy. They interviewed her. She even knew what she had to do against Keys, She knew how Keys liked to play, and she had that plan. I mean, Keys looked to me like she was a top 50 player, if that. The better player won. I watched Fabrice Santoro do the interview.
Love Fabrice.
Apparently it was raining in Paris, and he asked her, what'd you think of the rain delay and all that? And she said the French Federation is really having a lot of issues. She said, today I didn't know whether we were going to play or not. They really need to get their ship straight, basically, is what she said. She's very outspoken. Yeah.
It seems to me that every year at the French Open or Roland Garros, that the French Open always gets some heat. It's always, the French Open's fault for something. And there's nothing new about it. I won't go there. We've talked about this 1,000 times. Pavlyuchenkova and Azarenka, I think, has the potential to be a really good match.
Poor Sabalenka, man. She could have hit a ball.
Sabalenka, look.
She couldn't hit a ball in the third set. She got bagel, by the way.
We talked about this.
He didn't get to watch the match because he was still getting ready, showering. I got to watch the match.
It was like 5 o'clock this morning.
And I'm like watching. I'm like, what's up with Sabalenka? She's not even screaming. She's not even hitting. She's frustrated. She looked like she wanted to cry. Her backhands were way out. Her forehands were way out. I'm like, she didn't even show up on the third set.
We talked about this 1,000 times. Sabalenka has one gear, and that gear is wide open. And if she starts missing wide open, she may try to change it up, but she doesn't do really well at changing up because she just wants to be in that one gear. And her normal gear wasn't hitting on all cylinders, and she lost. That's okay.
Now, a lot of you guys chose her, and that's why I said she will never win a slam as well.
A lot of you for the tennis racket giveaway / $250 in cash. I picked her too. Believe me, I picked her too. But once I started writing everybody's predictions, for the pot, for the money, I was like, okay, wait a minute. Las Vegas isn't building new, hotels every year because everybody's betting and getting it right. And so when everybody started, betting on Sabalenka, and even Swiatek, and even Barty, I began to tell myself, I don't think any of these are going to happen. Only because of betting in its nature. The house always wins. So when I see, 40 people and 1/3 of them bet on Swiatek, the other third bet on Barty, and the other third bet on Swiatek, did I miss something there? Anyway, I'm beginning to tell myself that, okay, none of these individuals are right. Hence why there's one person left, and I think he could be right. Anyway.
All right, so it's Pavlyuchenkova against Azarenka.
Azarenka, look, I'm going to take Pavlyuchenkova.
Good night, everyone. Yes, good night. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I know it's late.
Look, I'm going to take Pavlyuchenkova there. Only because, look, Azarenka used to be a thick, strong girl. Remember, she was winning majors. She was like, strong like Carla. Azarenka 10 years ago was built like Carla. Azarenka now is built like my second oldest daughter, Gabriella. She's thin. This is clay. The stronger body is going to win here. Do you agree or disagree?
No, I think the better player will win.
I think the stronger body that has...
But she's not. Pavlyuchenkova is a big woman, but if she's not fit, she's got a belly. Just saying.
I don't care. Look, I give this match to Pavlyuchenkova. I wouldn't bet on it. Let's do a small bet on that.
Hello, T. Halfred. Good evening, guys. St. Lucian.
Let's go. St. Lucian Islands?
Yes.
Let's get down. That's a first. Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, my coach was from Trinidad and Tobago.
Let's go. Love that. Let's go. Come on. Welcome here. Much love. Vamos.
Vika looks strong. I agree. She's lean.
Yeah.
I mean, she doesn't have the big muscles she used to have. You know, I think you have a child, your body kind of changes. You just have to figure it out.
Pavlyuchenkova wins this match. Let's put it on this. One thing that Carla really can cook really well is something called salpicon. Salpicon, is that right? It's like meat. She puts it in a blender and it turns into like
it's shredded.
Shredded, like really finely.
Like good lean meat.
And yeah,
you put onions and you put cilantro.
Yeah, the fat's taken out. There's no grease in it.
Dice it up as well.
It's just like it's almost like it's like sawdust, but it's meat. And then she squeezes lime, lemon, cilantro all over it, and it's really wonderful.
You can eat it over a bed of rice.
Yeah, on rice. Yeah, or just or you could put it in a corn tortilla and eat it like a taco. Yeah. With onions.
I'll make that.
How about this? If Pavlyuchenkova wins, you cook salpicon, and then we make a plate that's all decorated and nice, and we take a picture of it, and I get to put "I beat you and I told you so" on our community kind of post page. Is that cool? And if you win, Azarenka wins, what's the favorite dish that I cook that you like?
Can I think about it?
Yeah, you can. It's no problem.
You make a lot.
So think about it, and I will do that, and we'll take a picture of the according dish. We love to cook. We had a restaurant for a while.
Gene said head-to-head is 5-1 favor of Vika, though.
I think it's going to be 5-2 after this match. And Gene Swart, you are on the leaderboard for Fantasy Team Pro. Let's go.
All right, let's go to the next match.
All right, look, who would have thought, who in the hell would have thought that Zidansek and Sir Steve would be in the 4th round of the French Open?
Kasatkina didn't show up for Zverev, and Zidansky had a battle. She lost the first set 6-0. She got bagel. And then won 7-6, 6-2. Good for her for battling that.
Now, a couple of you did choose Zidansek on your fantasy team selections. Again, I'll talk about that tomorrow.
Who's the better cook?
It depends on the dish.
I cook Spanish food. He cooks the other stuff. He can make some good stuff.
It just depends on the dish. We would have specials at the restaurant, and then she would cook more of the Spanish stuff, and I would be cooking stuff like stuffed chicken,
Minute Maid rice,
veal piccata, stuff like that. Yeah, no, we don't do that. Straight real soaked rice, real whole grain rice, white rice. That's real. Anyway, yeah, we do it the right way. At least the longer way. We don't take shortcuts when we cook. Zidansek, Sir Steve, does any one of these two ladies have a chance to beat the likes of Vondrousova and Badosa that are below them?
They do, because they're all the same type of player. Sir Steve, I was watching her. Yes.
And Carla, why did we make the pot so big for the French Open? Because this always happens at the French Open.
Yeah.
By the way.
But Badosa's in my group, and many of you believed in her. Yeah. You picked her, so she's doing well. She's playing Vondrousova. Has a great chance. She had a battle 3 sets today, right? And a match.
Yeah. By the way, for Wimbledon, which we're going to start Wimbledon shows a day or two right after we take a break from here. But we're going to have the same pot, same prizes for Wimbledon. I don't believe in, promising a bunch of stuff, not promising, but putting it out there and then taking it away just because the tournament's a little bit easier to predict. Matt Cain won Wimbledon 2 years ago prior to COVID and won a racket. So he has done it before. The French is always really hard to predict. So I put the 250 up instead of like $100. But I will roll it over. We will roll it over to Wimbledon. So if you have not subscribed yet, believe me, you want to do that because Wimbledon is much easier to predict. At least going into the second week. The French Open, you're like, oh, who's going to play or not? But on grass, generally you can pick the fast court players, and generally you do pretty well. But we'll do the same for Wimbledon. All right. I have one last topic. okay? And this involves Michael Walker, if he can help. And he may not. I just thought about it when I was writing it, okay? I read an article today that was in ESPN magazine, and I didn't mean to come across it. I just saw it, and I'm like, okay, a tennis article here in ESPN magazine, okay. So, and it was recent. It was from like yesterday or today, okay? So I picked up the magazine, I'm reading this magazine, and there was a topic or a heading, right? A heading. And the heading was this, and I quote, "This French Open," or Roland Garros, but the title was, quote, "This French Open. This French Open feels like the end of an era." Okay, so I'm thinking to myself when I read the title, I'm like, well, are they talking about the era of the big three? What era are they talking about? So because of the spam nature of the title, I'm like, end of an era, okay, let's click on it and see if we can talk about it on the show. So I click on it and I start reading. The article had nothing to do with the end of the era of the big three or anything. It had to do with the end of an era of solid French players, okay? So it's the French Open, and because of the title, I bought on debate and I read it. So there were 29. How do you say 29 in Spanish?
29.
There was 29 French men and women in this year's French Open. 29. All of those 29 failed to make the third round. Okay? There's no French player left in the tournament. No one even made the third round. My question after reading this article is, what French Open era? When I was reading the article, the only thing I can remember who were the last French men and French women to win a major. And I may be wrong. I didn't look it up because I saw this right before the show. But Carl and I thought, and this is where Michael Walker comes in, Carl and I were racking our brains on who the last French Open champion was as a man. We guessed Yannick Noah. And then the French woman, we guessed Marismo. Marismo won Wimbledon one year because of a walkover by Justine Henin.
Yeah,
I think
and she won the Australian Open the same year.
Yeah. So Mike Walker, correct us if we are wrong. But are the last two French male-female, Maresmo and Yannick Noah? And my question,
yes.
Thank you. I knew he would know. You can ask this guy anything from tennis and vintage tennis, and he'll get it right. Don't ever jeopardy with this guy because he'll destroy you. But my question is this. Who are they considering an era going bye-bye of French tennis? Are we talking about Gasquet? Are we talking about Monfils? Are we talking about Benoit Paire? Are we talking about Garcia? Are we talking about Alice Cornet? Are we talking about Wilfried Tsonga? Who are we talking about? And am I missing someone that would, quote-unquote, be the end of an era of French tennis? Has anyone won a major besides the two that I mentioned when I was 19 years old or something?
Clijsters and
Clijsters is from Belgium.
And so is Henin. So
they're from Belgium, Carla. That's a different country.
That's what I was telling them.
Oh, yeah. Clijsters and Henin are from Belgium, not from France. Close, and the flag is similar.
Oh, Bartoli.
Bartoli won Wimbledon.
Yes, she's French.
I thought she was Italian. No, she is French.
Thank you for the correction.
Okay.
Jack Multi.
Good job, guys. Good job, guys. That's
See how
excellent.
significant her game was to me. Forgot about her.
Well, when someone wins a major, hitting two hands on the forehand side and the backhand side, and then the grip of their Prince racket is like this long, it's like, okay. Anyway, not a big Bartoli fan, no offense. Pretty rocky career there, to say the least. And then her dad was kind of jacked up.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. Last thing that I have is for tomorrow. Tomorrow it is supposed to rain here. Mm-hmm. I really hope it doesn't rain because we have a full day of lessons. I love to coach, and I know Carla and I debate a lot here, but on the court we're pretty much on the same song sheet and getting down.
Well, we don't debate in life, actually.
We really don't. We just do it here.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it is. It's because I think you feel like people side with you, and I feel like people side with me, and I think that enables us to debate. But on the tennis court, we're coaching together for the same cause. Mm-hmm. So, and the same things that you coach, I coach, so it never really stumbles across each other. Mm-hmm. Anyway, the same thoughts you have is like different than the thoughts I have. Wasn't there a book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus? Her ass from damn Pluto. Anyway, tomorrow, what? You're damn from Pluto. Uranus. She's from Uranus. That's where she's from. Not my anus, not Uranus, but Uranus. That's where she's from. The damn ninth planet outside of Pluto.
That's so mean what you're saying to me.
You are from Uranus.
Don't forget that when we turn this off, you live in this house.
She's gonna smack me with a sandal. Okay. Tomorrow it is supposed to rain. If we wake up in the morning, we usually get up around 5:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. If it's a rain out, if I look at the radar and there's rain everywhere, and I know the courts won't dry within an hour or two, and we end up canceling lessons, which I hope we do not do, we will set up and schedule tomorrow's show well in advance so everyone can see it and maybe plan on it, and we don't have to say goodbye to people when they go to bed in South Africa, respectively.
Remember that
because they're 8 hours ahead.
If we're gonna remember that tomorrow they're gonna do the drywall here.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, so it'll probably be again this time tomorrow night because
they're coming in the afternoon, so if we're gonna do the show, we better do it early in the morning.
No. I'm gonna put it this way. I've lived in a box for 9 months and just got back in my house. I just paid a month's rent. I am not going to have people in my house tomorrow night at 6 o'clock p.m.
No, they're not going to be here at 6 p.m.
There you go.
No.
The latest we will do this show is tomorrow night at 6 p.m.
Yes.
The latest. If it rains, it will be earlier.
Yeah, we can do it early.
And we deserve the ability to say it's our house.
No, they said they're coming in the afternoon, so we can do it early if it rains.
If it rains, we'll do it real early, but I don't like doing it too early because the matches haven't finished yet.
Well, Gene said it's almost 3 a.m. here.
Well, we love you, Gene. Gene is a soldier.
And there's someone from New Zealand, Jackie and
Gunn.
Kevin, yes.
Let's go, Kevin, Jackie, Gunn.
Yeah.
Gene, by the way, it's Friday night. You get some sleep tomorrow. Tell your mom we love her. And again, we still owe you $100 US. So please, at some point in time, I get where your mom's coming from. She doesn't believe that you can get $100 without some type of scam or someone taking your account information or whatever. But we owe you $100 US sent to South Africa right now by means of PayPal, Western Union, cashier's check.
We're on Central Time.
Central Time, yeah. Right now in the US, it is...
The checker says 6 a.m. It's early morning show for me.
Yeah, right now it is 7:25 where we live, p.m. 7:25 p.m. Anyway. But Gene Swart, and also Dushan Dramakanine out there. These guys, Gene's our moderator, and Gene's in South Africa, and Dushan is in Serbia. Dushan does our fantasy team numbers. I do them by hand, but sometimes I make mistakes. Sometimes he does.
And so these guys really love us.
So we meet in the middle.
135 Ireland, 135 130 in London.
The island is Jack Nolte, right?
Yeah.
Ireland is Jack Nolte. And by the way, one day I would like to get a history lesson with Jack Nolte and ask him, why is there so much friction between the Irish and just below you on the same island? I've always wondered that. Like, I get Braveheart's a movie, but I don't buy into
No,
theatrics.
it's just a movie, but there definitely was.
Yeah, I mean, there's people that lose their lives over there off of this friction. One day, he met us personally on and on Facebook Messenger, so we can share pictures and we can chat all day long. It's the one downfalls about YouTube is you can't really send pictures and chat with people. If you're watching this and you want to catch up with us on a more personal level, you can find us on Facebook at JUSTIN Justin space Carlo with the C CARLA space Davis. That's our last name, DAVIS, D as in Victor. You can find us that way on Facebook. We'll accept the friend request. No, I'm saying anybody. I know Jack Nolte's there. I chatted with him the other day. But any of you, and then if you don't find us there, you can find us at 5K, just like here, 5K space tennis on Facebook as well. But we again, when these shows stop, a lot of you are, as soon as we hit stop and the video is downloading, we're already continuing this conversation on different platforms, namely Messenger and private text messages.
All right.
Okay, guys, we love you a lot. Thanks so much for everything. And thank you for getting me through my last day and a half of tumult, especially with a toxic family member. And I've done my best for the past 20 years to get through that toxic family member. But because it is my sibling, I feel like it's something that I have to work through and figure out. But as 20 plus years go by, I realize that it's it's time for me to move forward and start worrying more about my own kids and my own house.
Sorry, Gene, about your best friend in the hospital from COVID. Hopefully she pulls through.
Much love to you, Gene. You're a fine young man, and we will talk about your fantasy team tomorrow night as well as everybody else. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to play for the same big pot for Wimbledon that I'm rolling over because, well, Patrick Young could still win it. I just let the 10 on the bag.
All right, I gotta eat dinner, guys.
All right,
sorry.
We'll talk about it tomorrow. See ya.
Bye-bye.